Hello everybody, welcome to my first convention report. This is another one of those things that I've been promising to do on my channel for months and months, and I've just been really lazy and not doing it. So here's my first one. This review is on the Portland Comic Con. That was presented by Wizard World several months ago. So before I even get into this review about what I did like, what I didn't like, my background, honestly, this was my actually very first comic book convention. I've been going to Japanese anime conventions for a long time now. I've been going to the Commercialization since like 2004, since at least the second one. So I've been going to anime conventions for a lot of years, and that was the only thing I really had to compare it to. So when thinking about trying to do this review, I had to check out some other really big comic conventions. So the biggest one I've never been to it, but one of the biggest ones I'm just comparing this one to is the Emerald City Comic Con. So when I talk about other stuff, like when I get to the other parts about the stuff I didn't really like, I'm gonna try to compare it to that, and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, first topic I want to get to is something that's always been big at anime conventions is the goodie bags. We did get one really cool thing, and that being, the one really cool thing was the Walking Dead variant art cover, which was pretty awesome. It's issue number 1 of The Walking Dead, and they have a special, one of their guest artists has done a cover. So throughout the year at Wizard World Comic Cons, there's a different Walking Dead number 1 with a different art cover by a different artist that you can get if you go to every single convention. Anyway, this was the very first one, because I think they started with Portland, Oregon, and went on to some other cities. But this is really cool. And the goodie bag itself, that they handed us while we were waiting in line to get our tickets. The coolest thing in the goodie bag itself here were these World of Warcraft cups. Now, day one we thought these World of Warcraft cups were amazing. There's, I guess I have 2 of the same ones in this one, but there was 4 different ones. These are pretty cool, I have to say. Like all the people online, we started trading different cups so we could all have one of each or whatever, right? Anyway, these became pointless, and I will show you why. By the end of the convention, they literally still had pallets of these cups. Pallets of the cups. Like, okay, so each box contains about 200 some cups. Pallets of these cups. So, like, the coolness of getting the cups in the goodie bag was basically pointless, because they gave them away by the box full at the end of the convention. I really wish I would have gotten pictures of the pallets of cups, because they were at least 10 feet tall. Just boxes, huge boxes of 200 cups. I took 2 boxes. I would have taken more if I would have actually driven my car to the convention instead of taking public transportation, but yeah, I don't know why I took them, just because they were there and they were free. They're World of Warcraft. I don't even play World of Warcraft, and I still took these cups. What else do we have here? There's the usual stuff. Some advertisements of some parties and stuff that they were putting on. Just more advertisement stuff. I got a cool little... this wasn't in the goodie bag. Kaiju Cast guy, I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff. It's pretty cool. He had some stickers. That's where I actually got that amazing poster right there. I love that poster. This comic was also actually in the bag. Or it's like a Dutch Brothers coffee comic. You know, general advertisements that you see in a lot of convention bags. That's always really in the goodie bag itself. Which honestly disappointed me a lot, because yeah, I mean, even at anime conventions, the bags are definitely filled with basically just advertisement junk. But there's also usually a lot of like different stickers in there that those companies put in the bags to try to promote themselves, you know. As well, like I've been to several times at Commercialization. There's been like 1 or 2 mangas in the bag. Also along their all the anime conventions I've been to, they do a big like a souvenir guide, 8x10 booklet, basically about the whole convention, what you're going to see there, the schedule, all that good stuff. They also have like a little pocket schedule guide it's about that big. Something that I definitely use frequently when I'm at the conventions to you know, see what's going on, see what panels are going on. And they didn't have that, and I was really expecting that because I like those. I like those kind of well, to me they're collectible, but like those souvenir guides. The souvenir is what it is. It's a souvenir guide. Half of that's full of advertisements too, but it's still just a fun little book to have. And I felt like as commercialized as the Wizard World Portland Comic Con was, I was really surprised not to see that in there, because some of the anime conventions I go to are much less commercialized as Wizard World was. Another thing I like to collect from going to conventions is the con badge. But they didn't, for the regular attendees, for the ones that didn't pay $200 some to get that VIP package, they just had crappy wristbands, like little crappy wristbands that you get like at an amusement park. Like, it was honestly just, it was lame. So I didn't like that. I really was hoping for an actual badge. And if you paid $200 for the VIP thing, you got a cool little badge. It was also really dumb because every time you tried to get into the dealer's hall, like, you would have to be like, look, I can't get in because I have the wristband. Which is just kind of lame. They should just do a badge for everybody, and then you don't have to. But whatever. Each convention is different, and that's how it went. Going on to the biggest thing at any convention is the guests. So like I said at the beginning, I've only had an anime convention to compare this to, and I've never had to pay for an autograph from a guest, unless they were selling, also selling a print. So Vic Mignonia was recently at SoccerCon last year. Anyway, going up to get his signature, he had prints laid out as well. Prints $10. You haven't signed it, he'll sign it for you. You buy the print for $10, and he signs it for you. If you don't want to buy the print, that's cool. He would just sign your stuff for you and meet you, and you'd be good to go. Bam. And at Wizard World, you literally had to pay to have the guests sign your own stuff, even. I could definitely see if you're paying for a print. I mean, that's fine, and I understand that. But I was a little disappointed in that. And I did some research, and I did see at Emerald City Comic Con they do that too. Like, all the guests charge for their autographs. And in light of thinking about it, I mean, I understand that somebody like Brent Spiner or Jason David Frank, like they're bigger actors, like they're on-screen TV actors instead of just a voice actor. So I guess in that aspect, I don't want to say they're more important, but I guess they're more famous. I also understand the fact of they probably just don't want their autograph being sold all over the internet, so because I know a lot of people do that, and so I didn't like paying for autographs. And at the beginning I said that I wasn't going to do it. I said I was just going to get Stanley's autograph and not get anybody else's. But then I think my wife and I both got kind of starstruck in a way, and we ended up paying for some autographs that, I mean, they're cool to have, but I'd rather have the money, to be honest, in a lot of ways. But the actors that were there it was really awesome to meet all these actors. There was Brent Spiner, who's Data, Jason David Frank, who is the original Green Ranger, Henry Winkler was there, Stan Lee was there, Michael Rooker, and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. There's some Walking Dead actors there, let's just say that. And then James Hong was there. You know, Big Trouble in Little China, great. He's a great actor. He was one of my favorite. I actually went in saying I was only going to get Stan Lee's and James Hong's autograph, but we ended up getting Brent Spiner's, Jason David Frank's, and the Henry Winkler's autograph too at the end. So yeah, we kind of spent more than we should have, for sure. Spent a little too much of our tax money on that. So as far as panel content goes for the convention, the biggest thing was really just all of the actors had their panels. You know, Brent Spiner had his own panel. You know, all of them, all the actors had their own panel that they did like one or two of for the public. Just how commercialized it felt. To me, that was really new. That was really a different thing because Wizard World literally hired. I obviously cannot talk. They hired camera crews to follow around basically some booth babes and walk around the convention and talk about it and interview the guests and what else have you. So it was a very different environment. It was a very different environment altogether because, like I said, I'm basically an Japanese anime fan. But I also like, you know, I like American comic books too, and I like anything that's science fiction. If you follow me, you know, I like anything that's science fiction and stuff too. So I really enjoyed getting to take pictures of all the different types of cosplay that you never see at anime conventions. You know, like the Marvel cosplays or the DC cosplays or different science fiction cosplays. One thing I was really disappointed in is I figured, hey, this is a comic book convention, everybody's going to know who Wash is, and I cosplayed as Wash, and I barely got any attention over it, which really disappointed me. Yeah, the commercialization was just, it was different. Different in a kind of good way in some aspects, and kind of bad in other aspects, because I know a lot of it felt forced or faked, I guess, in little ways, like the some of the promotion staff or whatever. The cosplay competition was really cool, but it was a lot different than what I've seen at anime conventions. At the Wizard World, it was more like a fashion show almost, which I thought was actually really cool because of how just massively big Wizard World seemed to be. You know, because there was, like I said before, it was really commercialized, and one of the commercialized things that they did with the cosplay contest was like there was cameras everywhere, and they actually had you, they had the contestants stop at a couple different places and do poses, so they kind of choreographed it a tiny bit. Other than that, it was all up to the contestant to do it. I actually entered the contest as my Doctor Who cosplay, and I was super terrified because I was like the first one. I was number one out of like 200 some people to enter the cosplay contest, so it was really freaked out. I've been looking for footage of that, and I still can't find it, which I'm disappointed. Anyway, that was really cool. But other than that, other than the guest panels and the cosplay contest, I really felt the only attraction to the convention was the dealer's hall. Now the dealer's hall was pretty big. It was pretty, I mean, it was average for any convention that I've seen. Well, a little bit bigger than average in some of the bigger conventions, and that I was disappointed with. Like at anime conventions, there's always tons of just discussion panels or viewing panels of anime or anything. Like there's always something going on, like 24/7, just about. Pretty much 24 hours a day for the whole weekend. There's something going on at an anime convention. At Wizard World, it kind of shut down. The whole convention just kind of shut down at a certain time in the evening, around like 8 or 9 or somewhere in there. They did have some parties put on at some clubs and some bars and stuff. But I was really disappointed in that because there was just not enough content, in my opinion, to warrant the $60 price tag to get into the convention for the weekend. I was curious if it was just like a Portland Convention Center thing. But I guess it's just a comic book convention thing, as far as I know. Like I said, I've only been to Wizard World and only compared it to Emerald City, so there's not really a lot I have to go on. But all in all, I had a really great time. There was some awesome cosplay. I got some cool video of some of the guest panels and just walking around the convention. There's some cool stuff. It was really, really cool. Next year I will probably go again if I have the money for it. I definitely won't be doing the whole weekend. I'll probably just do one day. I'll probably just do a Saturday thing. You know, just because, like I said, there wasn't enough content for me to warrant paying $60 for it. I hope I wasn't too boring, and I hope you liked my input on Wizard World Comic Con. They're still continuing to tour around. I think right now they're in Chicago or something. So check them out, and look forward to my next video.